Hey everyone, this is OTC. I trade with Bear Bull Traders Community, and this is part 2 of my INTC trade on today, September 1st. So I started the video back up a little late. We were talking about in part 1 how I just got chopped around here, saw some volume, thinking this was ready to go to the upside, added, and then stopped out. I bailed on this one, then I saw the volume again here, increasing volume. Tried to go along there, got stopped out, and then finally I waited to see how many levels was this going to go down to. So this purple line that we're looking at here is previous day low. So then waited. Okay, saw that this had waning volume here after coming down, so the volume started decreasing. Then they got a nice support level. It held on the close of the sell-off candle, and then on the open of the buying pressure candle, waited, got in above the average. So really waiting for some confirmation to confirm my position, right? So tier 1 entry there, tier 2 entry here. So now I'm in my full position, trying to make up some slack for all the trades I took in beforehand where I'm getting chopped around. So let's run this video. So there you can see it's struggling. RVOL is actually lower now. RVOL was 100% in the previous video, now down to 96. So RVOL is dropping. I don't really want to take a partial yet because my position was average share was roughly right around here at 50-41-ish, I think it was. Probably closer to this one. I think it was 50-42 actually, because this is where I added the majority of my position. Here I took a small position, 25%, 75%. And you can see I've got quite a few shares going for this trade, but didn't take a partial there. Notice this, you've got, wasn't too concerned with these two candles here because you've got nice big volume on this one, and then both of these seller candles are happening on lower volume than the buying pressure candle. Let's speed it up. So it's holding the 20 and the 9 on the 2, and it's holding the 50 on the 1, and you've got the 9 and the 20 coming up to add support. So I think I'm in pretty good shape here. And then it's closed on the 5, it's closed above the 9 EMA there, but you've got VWAP in front of you, right? So VWAP is the indicator that tells you that sentiment is bullish if it's above, bearish if it's below. So see what it does. That is not a good candle. Look at the pressure there, but I'm thinking, okay, if that's happening, then maybe the sellers are getting exhausted, trying to push it from breaking this level, just exhausting their efforts to the downside. Not all trades work out. This is my second day trading INTC. I don't think I've traded it well in 2 days, and I will probably leave this stock alone for a while. I trade AMD well, I trade SQ well, I trade others well that I've gotten to know over time, feeling how those stocks kind of behave on a day-to-day basis. So there goes, makes the break. I think I take a partial there, right? You get a pop of energy. So here, they're holding it up, so the buyers are not allowing the action to close below the 9 EMA. Then it looks like I just scroll over to Walmart just to see what's going on there real quick. Maybe I take a small position. I think I do actually. I'm thinking it's a trend day. Most stocks are setting up for a trend day, so they're just coming down, touching these averages, and then bouncing right back up. So I think I take a a really small position, just testing this out as a trend. So let's speed it up, see where it goes, if it goes back to INTC. Okay, now we're back in our trade. So here we are. There's that partial I'm talking about. It bounced, claimed that 100 SMA, still got the 9 and the 20 below it, got the 5 as support. So got quite a bit of support. At this trade is not a bad trade at all. The problem is I had so much P&L to make up from poor trades beforehand, from premature entries. But that's why I'm making these videos. You know, I'm young in my trading career. I'm curious to look back in a year and see how my commentary is on some of these trades, see if I've eliminated that and I've gotten a lot better and really just recognizing the entry and catching the move, whether it's to the long side or to the short side. So that is the ultimate purpose of me doing these recaps, to learn. And hopefully you guys out there are picking up a few tips from a fairly novice trader. So yeah, sure enough, I took a position in Walmart, small position for the loss of these two, thinking that it's a trend. But you know, it might be starting to turn over. I don't know what happened, and it's pretty extended. It's not extended on the 5, and that's what made me think that this might be, you know, a trend day. Because look, it tested VWAP, it held the 9. Came back, tested the 9. I thought, okay, now it's testing the 9. Maybe my entry was just a little late, a little bit on the high side, and I think my stop was probably just too tight. But yeah, back to the INTC trade there. So you get bonus for all of us, right? Because we're getting to see 2 trades in one. Starting to push again. This is back to Intel. Starting to push again. It's struggling with that intraday pivot level. And then we get a big dump. So that is not a good sign, right? And look at all that selling pressure, saying, okay, you buyers have done a good job holding it up, holding it up, holding it up. And then, you know, market makers saying, no, this thing's not going to get above 50-50 all day long. It's not going to claim VWAP. So here, scrolling back to Walmart. Back to INTC. Now it's come back all the way down to the 50 SMA. And then look, in hindsight, I still have, I think I took just too optimistic on this one, because I had 3,600 shares. So it looks like I took 25% of my position there. I should have been taking off, you know, 75% of my position, as long as it took for this move to happen. But now we know what needs improvement. Now it pushes up again. It's holding that 50 SMA on the 1. Okay, buyers are not ready to give up. Still pushing up. Go over to Walmart. Not stopped out yet. Back to Walmart. Still holding. Back to INTC. Oh, I'm looking at BA now. Seeing if there's a possible entry here on a trend day. Took a small entry there. I think I just got a quick scalp off of that one, off of BA. So making a move up. BA, there's my quick scalp on BA at the next level. So I noticed that it was consolidating. Here, I caught the bottom of it. I saw the volume peeling off after this pop, right? After this pop here on this candle, volume was peeling off. And I thought, okay, it's held this for quite some time now, for, let's see, for 10, 15 minutes, and then I got in for that pop-up and got a quick scalp there. Could have held it a little longer, but got a good move out of it. Then comes back down. All right, so now we're back in our trade, INTC, right? So we're in here and here. That's that first partial. Now it's just consolidating. in this range. I'm opening up Thinkorswim for something. Oh, I'm trying to look if there's any catalyst news to see if this thing is going to go or not, right? If throughout today there had been any news. BA, just looking at it for another entry. Get another pop here. Speed it up, still looking at BA over here. Comes all the way back down. And I think it stops me out. So INTC, there it is, the next move up to VWAP. And I've still only taken like 25% of that, the 25% of the remaining shares. So just not good trade management with too optimistic and thinking this thing's going to go. Well, there it goes. It started moving. Okay, so gets up to the, tries to get up to the, yeah, there we go. It gets up to the 200 SMA on the 1, which is basically the 15 SMA on the 15-minute chart. So it makes a good move up. And I only took off 50% of the position there, so I'm hoping for a move higher. Bouncing around different stocks here, looking at what else. See, that's the thing. INTC was moving so slow, had so little volume that I was out there looking for other trades. So that should be an indication of something to me. I should have been out a lot more position here. It was struggling, had a toppy candle. Look at this candle here. Selling pressure. Another one right next to it, some selling pressure pushing down on that 200 SMA. So let's see what it does. Makes another pop. Okay, making a move up. I missed a partial there. Should have been, but really just not that much more. Yeah, I finally take one there on the weakness, but I didn't want to take another partial here. This one was like at 62, so I wanted to wait for the break of 50-70, right? I wanted to wait for it to hit up to this 50 SMA on the 5, but look at this candle here. Okay, then there it makes it move. Okay, so it did make the move up to there. Now I'm out most of my position, so then comes back down. My stop loss is at break even, makes another pop, can't get over that 50-70. Second attempt, added to the position. That was not a smart move. So added to the position 3 times. So that is good to know, right, for myself. So look at this. 1, 2, 3 attempts. Already tried twice. It's on relative, this came up, it's a nice move up, but it's not on very high R volume. This is not a place to be adding at the top of a range unless, all of a sudden you see this level 2 just light up and this R vol goes from 97 to 150 or to 100, it just starts lighting up and this just starts sprinting, as we like to see it do, right? Look how slow the level 2 is going here. If that thing just started sprinting, and look how many asks, the stack of ask at 64. Sorry, that was back there. But anyway, you can't see it now because we're talking about this, but I wonder how many big asks were up there and just didn't have the pressure to break through this level here. And then look at this. This is climactic volume to the upside. So it took all that energy to make this candle here. So does that mean that this stock is exhausted? Well, based on this move, it looks like it's somewhat exhausted. Now we're just hoping that it comes down and is just testing this 50 SMA. So let's run it and see what it's, speed it up and see what it does. Nope, comes down and gets all of these moving averages, right? So loses the 50, comes down to the 200 and the 100. So let's close this real quick and see what it did for the remainder of the day. So INTC, so here's, okay, so yeah, so then it just chopped around for the rest of the day. So here's that partial when it got to the level. Then here's the add that I shouldn't have done, because here's that triple top I was pointing out, right? Attempt to break, and then on the third attempt I add when the R-vol is 97 and has dropped from 110 to 97 throughout the morning. So it's really not going to break for high of day, or for a huge move on that low of R-vol. Struggling to break this level so many times, then comes out and stops me. I think it's just retesting VWAP. So I take a long here, got stopped out, then it does test VWAP, so I jump in for another quick long, get a partial there when I see these candles, then comes down, and I went ahead and bailed because it's going to come down and test VWAP and this average again. So, in hindsight, not a great trade, not a terrible trade. I think what hurt me here psychologically and overall in terms of P&L on this, on trading this, was yesterday having the same situation, thinking that Intel is going to make a move up and it's just not doing it, and I'm biased that it's going to do so, and really just not allowing the price action to tell me what it's going to do. This move that I caught here, it's a pretty good move. That is, let's see, so I got in at my average was 42, so 42 to 72, so 30-cent move, but it took all of an hour and a half. And so there's just other stocks that I trade better with better R-vol that make that same kind of a move in half the time, and you can kind of tell which way the stock is going. So this is part 2 of INTC. In summary for both parts, I give this trade a DC, because 2 days in a row I get chopped around, making bad entries. I'm having bias as to which way I think this thing is going based on something that I thought was a catalyst that was not. Although this stock and like WDC and MU have been trading at the bottom of daily ranges, you're kind of expecting them to make a move up here pretty soon. Like you can see here, it was at the bottom of a range, but already pressed up and in this date here, and now it's just kind of consolidating. So not great daily candles to be trading off of. I think I'm going to stay away from this for a while. So see there, overall trade management, I give myself a pretty poor grade as well. Needs improvement. It's the same thing that I'm doing everywhere else, right? Not seeing the setup, not waiting for the confirmation of the move on my setup, and taking the trade at the right timing of that part. So work on that, continue to work on that, and hopefully I'll see those improvements over time with these trade recaps. So I appreciate you guys listening in. That's my recap for INTC.